Hello everyone, I'm Laura Bloomberg. I'm the Dean of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs at the University of Minnesota, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 virtual Social Equity Leadership Conference. It was just over a year ago when the Humphrey School began talking with the National Association of Public Administration and all of the partners affiliated with NAPA to think about hosting the conference here in Minneapolis this year, and we were so honored to do so. We were excited to share our beautiful city with all of you that is so lovely in June, in the summertime. And of course, a lot has changed since then. In March of this year, when it became clear that we would be in the midst of a global pandemic for quite some time, we made the difficult but inevitable decision to move the conference to a virtual format and share as much content as we could with you so that we could all continue to benefit from this national dialogue on social equity. 2 weeks ago in this community, as the world now knows, Mr. George Floyd died in this community. He was killed by a Minneapolis Police Department officer who held his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, an amount of time that will not soon be forgotten by the world. That was just 2 weeks ago, and yet so much in this lovely city of ours has changed. If you were here this week, you would see a city that was torn apart by the pain and sorrow born of years of injustice and inequity. You would see a city with burned out small businesses and boarded up storefronts. At the same time, you would see a city that is coming together in so many ways, a city that has raised millions of dollars to help rebuild minority-owned small businesses that have been destroyed. You would see incredible street art popping up on the very boards that are used to protect storefront windows. You would see tens of thousands of community members continuing to peacefully protest and demand reform. And you would see people self-organizing to clean up our streets so that the space in front of these burned out buildings is immaculate. In so many ways it is jarring, it is painful, and it is powerful. You won't be here this week, but we will continue to offer content through the Social Equity Leadership Conference virtually. Some would say that it is too soon after the death of Mr. George Floyd to do this. Others would say there is no more urgent time to do the work of advancing social equity and sharing what we know works and what doesn't work, and that is what we intend to do. Last week, the Reverend Al Sharpton was here to deliver the eulogy for Mr. George Floyd at the memorial service that occurred in Minneapolis. As the world who watched online knows, Reverend Sharpton asked us to observe 8 minutes and 46 seconds of silence and think about just how much time that is. And then the Reverend Sharpton asked those assembled and those watching online, what will we do with the time that we have? In this time, our time that we have, I'm grateful to the National Association of Public Administration for allowing us to host this virtual conference. I'm grateful to the people who will share their wisdom and what they know with others in the panels that you will watch over the coming days. And I am grateful for all of us continuing to commit to social equity and the work we know we need to do. There's much to be done, and now is the time to do it. I'm reminded of something that Hubert Humphrey, our namesake at the Humphrey School, something he said over half a century ago that seems particularly resonant today. He said, if there is dissatisfaction with the status quo, good. If there is ferment, so much the better. If there is restlessness, I am pleased. Then let there also be new ideas and hard thought and hard work. Thanks so much for joining us for the 2020 Virtual Social Equity Leadership Conference.